Swallowed star. Star fragment 803890881 had a diameter of 6,200 kilometers. This was close to a quarter of Earth's surface area, however this was only the living quarters for one absolute beginning member. Within the villa, there was a team of guards with 111 people. From today on, without my orders, I do not wish to see anyone enter here. Luo Feng ordered while looking around a quiet little building. Yes, Your Majesty. The bald old man Ao Duo bowed respectfully. Luo Feng looked at the bald old man. Ao Duo, from what I know, the core members should be able to bathe in the life pool to evolve their bodies to the highest levels, right? Life pool. The bald old man was stunned. Luo Feng was curious. Ao Duo was a core member of the last phase region and he should know this. What life pool? Ao Duo asked curiously. After breaking through to Universe Level 1, bathing in the life pool will raise one straight to Universe Level 9. No? Luo Feng asked again. Ah. Luo Feng nodded. Right. Right, nutrition cabin. Luo Feng asked, how do I request it? Your Majesty hasn't entered the virtual universe network yet. Ao Duo smiled. Every new batch of the company has to first go through the basic training in Primal Chaos City first. After which, their rights and privileges change. Many things they were unable to do before will now be enabled. Once you go online, you will know. Ah. Luo Feng nodded, following which his consciousness entered the virtual universe network. Virtual universe, absolute beginning region Villa 1136. Within the study. Luo Feng tapped it gently. The mail automatically opened and there were 3 choices on the summary page: life, study, and training. Life. Luo Feng gently tapped. Request. Luo Feng tapped it gently. Do. A small screen appeared and in it displayed was a beautiful jade-haired lady in a white robe with a smile on her face. How do you do, Your Majesty? Luo Feng, did you request to use the nutrition cabin to evolve from Universe Level 1 to Universe Level 9? Yes. Luo Feng nodded. Your Majesty. Luo Feng, we will send the nutrition cabin to your quarters within a day. The jade-haired lady smiled. Thanks. Luo Feng smiled. The call ended. That was easy. Luo Feng muttered. As for food and beverages along with many other requests such as even ships are provided for. Although, the good ships have to be bought. However, the A-grade to D-grade ships are provided. Right, the normally not too expensive items are all provided for. Closing the life section, Luo Feng opened the study section. The study section was separated into theory and practical. They also spoke of the fusion of space and gold, space and wood, etc. There were also skills lessons. And consciousness training lessons. Many different types of lessons. The teachers were all at least undying level, and occasionally universe country leaders. These public lessons all belonged to the absolute beginning public lessons, only absolute beginning members could attend them. They actually don't force anything. Luo Feng smiled. That's good, when I want to I'll attend, if not I'll train alone. However, just from the course names and the absolute being's teaching, these were enough to let Luo Feng understand just how vast their wealth was. Normal warriors would dream of getting an undying teacher. Just like Luo Feng's slave by Kalo, his teacher was Nolan Shan. How luxurious. Study section is separated into theory and practical. Luo Feng thought. Theory is the classes by the absolute warriors, what about practical? He gently tapped it. Hua. The practical segment was separated into the Heavenly Bridge, Fantasy Ocean and Undying Altar. Within them were the detailed explanations of each of them. Heavenly Bridge. Fantasy Ocean. Undying Altar. Luo Feng held his breath. I didn't expect that other than the Heavenly Bridge, there's also the Fantasy Ocean and Undying Altar. Damn! The Virtual Universe Company is indeed the Virtual Universe Company. They have everything mapped out. On Luo Feng's shoulder, Babata stared wide-eyed. They actually have a group of Undyings and even a universe country leader teaching classes. Making just the Heavenly Bridge is more than enough. Yet, there's even a Fantasy Ocean and Undying Altar. How do they make those? Body, consciousness strength, willpower and origin law comprehension, these are the main aspects to becoming undying. Babata shouted. Especially the Undying Altar, this can actually test one's strength. What's hard about that? Luo Feng laughed. When we were on Earth, couldn't we also test one's strength exertion? It's not the same. When one trains to your level, a punch alone will naturally be infused with origin laws. Babata explained. For example, your raw power is 1, when you exert strength it can reach 20. However, with the laws, your attack can rise to a 100 points. The test will read is as 100, but that's not your true strength, do you understand? Luo Feng realized. Right. The origin laws could increase one's power a lot, it wouldn't just be one's raw energy. Tap the Undying Altar. Babata shouted. Luo Feng gently tapped. Hee, I've never heard of such a place, normal warriors would never even know of such a place. Babata shook his head and exclaimed. The best thing is that, the Heavenly Bridge, the Fantasy Ocean and Undying Altar can all get you points. Luo Feng laughed happily. When it was opened, a summary page popped up with several words. In the Virtual Universe Company, points are more effective than money. Only through grueling and intense battles will one constantly evolve and get stronger. The training missions are a form of training in reality. The missions are separated according to their difficulty and danger levels such as safe, normal, difficult, danger, impossible. Safe level, mortality rate 0. Normal, mortality rate 10%. Difficult, mortality rate 20%. Danger, mortality rate 50%. Impossible, mortality rate 90%. Whether it's study or training, everything will be decided by you, the core member. You make your own choices, you'll bear the consequences of your own actions. The path to becoming undying is filled with danger. I wish you all to walk this path and become undyings. Finishing the final training segment page, Luo Feng was silent for a while. There's a saying on Earth. A flower may seem beautiful in a greenhouse, but it can never withstand wind and rain. Luo Feng said softly. It's delicate and fragile. Right. There is no rush. I currently don't even wish to take any missions yet. Luo Feng said. My study from Primal Chaos City, I still require some time to digest all that information. And my body requires the nutrition cabin as well. The demon Babata smiled and nodded. When Luo Feng enters the primal secret region, his guards would be led by an undying. When that happened, even the god leader of the Black Dragon Mountain sacred land would have to be extremely respectful with Luo Feng. Background management. Luo Feng gently tapped and later closed the document. Life, study, and training, the Virtual Universe Company provided the best of everything. Dying halfway. Stuck at the pinnacle of Sector Lord with the lifespan ending. Becoming undying. That all depended on one's hard work. Right. Babata, take a look at this treasure trove. Will we be able to fix the Yunmo planet ship with the available items? Luo Feng asked. Yes. The demon Babata was an AI after all. It was able to collect the information about all the necessary materials in an instant. Ah! Luo Feng was surprised. Spirit attack. He could hide his two other bodies into his internal world and use the Masha clan. As it didn't have a soul, it wasn't afraid of a spirit attack at all. How many points does it require? Luo Feng asked. About 560,000 points. Babata said. 560,000. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. That's not considered much. Babata said. If we use real cash in the actual universe, it would require about 80,000 mixed elements. Luo Feng was stunned. The buying power of the points was indeed absurd. Babata, if we were to build a new UNMO planet ship, how much would we need? Luo Feng asked. About 3.6 million mixed elements. Babata said. Damn. Luo Feng couldn't help but curse. Even buying and selling the entire Black Dragon Mountain starfield wouldn't cost this much, right? Black Dragon Mountain starfield, even selling it entirely didn't compare to one UNMO planet ship. Plus, your teacher focused on the spirit offense and defense. Hence with that ship, it was extremely safe. He still died in the end. Luo Feng shook his head. His enemy was an emperor-level undying, and he focused on spirit attacks too. Babata said. If he was a fighter, he wouldn't have been able to kill your teacher at all. Black Dragon Mountain starfield is after all just a territory. However, one UNMO planet ship is a ship that protects your life. Which is more important? One look and you should know. Babata said. Whether it was 560,000 points or 80,000 mixed elements. They were both far from Luo Feng's reach, his meager points were nowhere near it. Deep in the universe, absolute beginning region core. Orbiting around this huge ice planet were many star fragments. On fragment number 803890881, a universe ship landed on the continent. Luo Feng nodded satisfied. Hua. The nutrition cabin opened automatically. Inside it, about 1/5 of it was filled with a light purple liquid. This formless liquid was extremely cold, this made Luo Feng frown. He extended his hand close to the liquid, slightly touching it, chi. The cold shocked Luo Feng. It was at least -10 degrees. While touching the liquid with his fingers, he noticed that the cells in his fingers seemed to jump with glee. Such a cold nutrition liquid. However, the effects are shocking. Luo Feng thought. With that he stripped and entered the cabin, immersing himself in that cold purple liquid. The strange entity began to flow and entered through Luo Feng's body, through his muscles, bones, skin, internal organs. As for the chillness of the nutrition liquid, universe-level warriors weren't affected by such temperatures. Hua. The cabin closed. Virtual universe, absolute beginning Villa 1136. It's really not the same. It not only permeates through my entire body, even my spirit energy is growing. This is unbelievable. Luo Feng sat at his desk, opening his laptop and exclaiming. To be able to evolve my body and soul from level 1 to 9, impressive. On the screen, Luo Feng looked at the timetable for classes. There's a class tomorrow night. Speaking about gold origin laws. On top of that, it's an emperor-level undying speaking, I'll have to go listen. Following which, Luo Feng jumped out from the balcony of his study. With a flash in mid-air, he came to his private training quarters and began his training. The effects of the classes didn't compare to his own teacher Tru Yan's lessons. Studying under Tru Yan for 20 years, even though there were several classes that would make his eyes gleam occasionally, the effects were average. There was no helping it. Public classes were for all of the absolute beginning members. My improvement speed is obviously much slower than Primal Chaos City. Luo Feng sat in a chair in his villa. He lifted a good glass of wine and frowned. And these classes obviously aren't better than my own teacher, what do I do? It wasn't just Luo Feng. Luo Feng, your teacher has requested a call. On his shoulder, Babata shouted. Teacher. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Standing straight up and respectfully speaking, accept. My studying speed has slowed. Luo Feng shook his head. Ha. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, please speak, teacher. If you are able to frequently study the 9-universe tablet, your improvement speed will be even faster than in Primal Chaos City itself. True Yen Emperor said. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Don't tell me that teacher has a way for me to study the tablet. No, the 52 Primal Chaos tablets are only available here in Primal Chaos City. True Yen said. Then what teacher means is. Luo Feng was curious. In the Virtual Universe Company's Treasure Trove Manuals department, there's a book called the Time-Space Scribbles. True Yen continued, this book was written by the creator of the 9-universe tablet. Are you referring to one of the top 100 most heavenly priced books, Time-Space Scribbles? Luo Feng stared. He had looked through the treasure trove and towards the end of the list for the manuals, there were terrifyingly priced manuals. Time-Space Scribbles, the set required a total 100 billion points. A number so high Luo Feng could only stare wide-eyed at the absurdly priced books. Luo Feng didn't even bother to look at them, 100 billion points. Don't get excited. This Time-Space Scribbles is something even your teacher cannot afford. True Yen smiled. Passing the first level of the Heavenly Bridge was 100 points, the second level yielded 200, the third was 400, it compounded as it grew. After passing the 21st level, one could become a universe country leader. At the same time, they will also gain 100 million points in reward. Shocked. True Yen laughed on the screen. Teacher, what's the point of telling me about the Time-Space Scribbles? I can't afford it at all. Luo Feng muttered. Even if it's written by the creator of 9-universe tablet, I can't afford it. Passing the 21st level of the Heavenly Bridge, could lead to one becoming a universe country leader. If one said that the 9-universe was deep and profound, and is able to entice and help many with comprehension. True Yen said, then this Time-Space Scribbles itself has recorded thousands to tens of thousands of techniques. Thousands to tens of thousands of techniques. Luo Feng starred. 10,829 techniques. Luo Feng blinked hard. A true absolute being could create so many techniques from just those 9 pictures. These techniques are extremely scattered. True Yen Emperor said. Hence the name Scribbles, this was mainly due to it being random writings, or pictures. Some are extremely profound and some not, some of them even very random and scattered. When the later generations studied the Time-Space Scribbles, they couldn't even find all 10,829 techniques within. Since they couldn't find them all, how did they know there were so many? Luo Feng asked curiously. The creator himself wrote it in the first page. True Yen laughed. Even though they couldn't find everything, but they still discovered tens of thousands. This entire set has 9 books. 9 books? Luo Feng thought about it. The 9-universe tablet had a total of 9 pictures too. The scribbles were originally written according to the 9 pictures. The first book is in accordance with the first picture, the second with the second picture, 9th with 9th. True Yen smiled. Time-Space Scribbles, first book 1,000 points. Time-Space Scribbles, first 2 books 10,000 points. Time-Space Scribbles, first 3 books 100,000 points. Time-Space Scribbles, first 7 books 1 billion points. Time-Space Scribbles, first 8 books 10 billion points. Time-Space Scribbles, entire set 100 billion points. And this Time-Space Scribbles didn't come with a discount. It's really exactly as I thought. Luo Feng laughed loudly. These expensive books really sell separately too. Ah, like what you thought. On the screen Tru Yen laughed. Luo Feng laughed too. Back when he was on Earth, the normal fighter's 9-level Thunder Blade was sold separately too. However, the price is still very expensive. Luo Feng frowned. The price is expensive. Tru Yen nodded. The moment you choose to buy it, then later on you'll have to work hard to earn back the points. Luo Feng, this is definitely considered an extremely expensive book. The Floating Blood you bought was only 800 points, and they resonate with the March 1st pictures. This book however, just the March 1st require 100,000 points. And it gets worse later on. However, they are definitely the best training option in training and studying the 9 Universe tablet, as large amounts of techniques are stored within. By studying these techniques, the effects may be even better than directly studying the 9 Universe tablet. On the screen Tru Yen Emperor smiled happily as he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, my good disciple, it's your choice whether to buy it or not. Buy, definitely. Luo Feng didn't even hesitate. Ah. Tru Yan's golden eyebrows creased. Anyway, I have points now. Luo Feng smiled. I can afford it now, as for later on whether I can afford it or not, that's a problem for the future. Exchange successful. Deducting 10,000 points, remainder 20,360 points. Please wait, someone will send the manual over immediately. On the screen a notice popped out. Teacher, I've already bought it. Luo Feng looked at the other screen in which Tru Yen was in. Tru Yen smiled. With this Time-Space Scribbles, your study of the 9 Universe tablet will speed up a lot. If you have any questions, bear with it for 3 months, and if after 3 months you still haven't understood it, come ask me. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng thought and nodded, understood teacher. Primal Chaos City. Within that ancient mansion, Tru Yen Emperor smiled and nodded. Luo Feng, this punk, he is indeed straightforward. Luo Feng quickly received the 2 books that he ordered, they were both stored in a silver briefcase. In his study. Luo Feng opened the briefcase, shocked, 2 books. The Time-Space Scribbles, one had to know that when he purchased the Floating Blood before, all 110 books almost just filled up the entire briefcase. However, these 2 books alone took up half of the entire briefcase. These 2 books, accurately speaking, were made of metal, even the pages were gold in color. The first book was 50 centimeters long, 40 centimeters thick and 40 centimeters tall. The second book was 50 centimeters long, 40 centimeters thick and 30 centimeters tall. Simple words, yet they held within them the universe space itself. With a glance, he felt himself getting drawn into the words themselves, almost as though he was staring at stars exploding, galaxies evolving, etc. After a second, Luo Feng awoke with a shock. Unbelievable. Luo Feng started. These 2 books sent over by the virtual universe system, they aren't even the original copies and they can actually entice my consciousness already. The being that wrote Time-Space Scribbles, is too terrifying. Luo Feng quickly opened the metal cover. This first book was 40 centimeters thick. However, it had 1,000s of pages. Even though they were metal pages, they were still thin and soft. Hypnotism. Luo Feng was suspicious, flipping to the second page. On the second page, there were simple strokes. However, these strokes, in Luo Feng's eyes, seemed to resonate with simple yet fierce blade work and strokes. Elegant. Powerful. And as he had already comprehended the raindrop pictures, he was immediately able to learn the technique. Luo Feng flipped to the third page. On this page, a simple leaf was there. On it were simple brush strokes that formed the veins. In Luo Feng's eyes, however, he saw 9 spirit weapons in mid-air forming one body, descending from above, surrounding and killing an enemy. Simple, fierce offense. Using 8 weapons to affect the space, surrounding the enemy and killing him directly. Luo Feng was completely shocked. This is much stronger than the 9-thread loop I created. When I unleash the totem pillar, I can only rely on the Nanshan armament to get stronger. His own technique, the 9-thread loop, obviously paled in comparison to the random techniques this absolute being had scribbled. It's wonderful. Luo Feng flipped to the 4th page, his eyes gleaming. Many different techniques were all at his disposal. As Luo Feng had fully comprehended the raindrop picture, just from simply looking at these techniques, he almost instantly comprehended all of them. It's unbelievable. Vicious. Powerful. These techniques were also a way to use the origin laws. That absolute being casually wrote 1,000s of ways to use the raindrop picture. 3 days later. Worth it, worth it. When Luo Feng finished flipping through the last page of the first book, he couldn't help but shout out excitedly. Finishing the first book. There were 3,219 techniques in that first book and Luo Feng had fully grasped them all. This was only 1,000 points, even if I had to buy it with 30,000 points, it'd still be worth it. Luo Feng closed this book. He was excited, as in his mind the many techniques floated within. Right, that being had opened a window that wasn't there before for him. It wasn't just his comprehension of the 9-universe tablet that leveled up, it also spurred many new ideas on how to battle, and increased the amount of knowledge to a whole new level about many other things.